talk about how to be, if you want to be successful, you cannot allow anybody put victim label on you. So when my parents passed away, I was 16 when my mom passed away, I was 19 when my dad passed away. When my mom passed away, people were like, okay, well, you know, she still has her father. But when my dad passed away, I remember some people saying, oh my God, how are you gonna, you know, oh, poor you, you know. But I just never kind of accepted that, because I said, no, I'm still gonna be successful. I'm still going to do great things. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the way I was brought up, and maybe the culture. I grew up in Lithuania. But then I see some people sometimes having like an excuse for somebody that, well, you know, they had trauma in their life, that's why they chose the life of crime, the life of substance use, immorality and things like that. But the trauma itself does not cause people to be bad people. Yes, it can lead them more likely towards paths that are more sketchy and dangerous, and trials, tribulations that they have to make the right choice to leave those situations. There's more resistance for them, for these people. But you know, I was one of those people, and I ended up overcoming it. I am a victor of my circumstances, but I always knew I would be. So when I saw my dad overdosing on alcohol, I knew I didn't want to drink for that reason. I knew where it can lead. And there's very successful people that came from families from drug addiction, from substance abuse, from alcohol abuse, from mental illness, from physical abuse, domestic violence, and they actually, those adversities and those tribulations actually made them better and stronger. So the same environment, one person, you can allow it to make you weaker or stronger. Like, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. But I feel like these days we are so quick to write off people that, oh, you know, well, it's okay because they had trauma, you know, now they're like, can't hold a job and choose substance and live on the streets. But trauma alone does not cause people to choose those pathways. If it did, then all people that had trauma would end up in those situations. So recently we went to the movie Nuremberg about German Holocaust, and I watched some videos from Holocaust survivors. I actually been in bunkers of World War II. My granduncles died in the war. My grandmother survived war. And it does, you know, cause a lot of emotional turbulence and problems to a lot of people. However, that doesn't make people to become criminals themselves. That doesn't make them, like, even Jews that survived Holocaust, I think the majority of them did not end up, you know, being substance abuse users. Actually, a lot of them end up creating families, becoming citizens of the society, and sharing their stories to prevent that happening in the future. So trauma alone does not cause a misfortune. It's how we deal, you know, and maybe it's in a culture, certain countries maybe deal with, maybe it's having faith, you know, growing up around areas where there's faith, where it's being taught about good and evil, choosing good and evil. It's easier for people to go the right path. Like for me, you know, I grew up in sort of like religious Christian country, Lithuania, but not a lot of people were that religious. My mom's side was not really religious. She actually became non-religious because what she did saw in World War I and II, more so World War II actually, she was born in 1926, so she saw more of the World War II. But, you know, she did see the Jewish people being taken to the gulags and camps and things like that, which is terrible. And this, you know, and then she saw people being taken to Siberia by the Russian soldiers and Bolsheviks, and she saw all these revolutions and communism take over, things like that. But, you know, and then she saw her brothers die and her mom died when she was young. But she didn't become a criminal. She didn't become substance abuse user. So I think it's a lot of the time is that how we teach people that life is hard and we have to be a victor, not a victim. We have to, you know, overcome the cards we dealt with, and it's up to us. And it's just because you had trauma, or, you know, people say, oh, I'm this gender, this color, so it's much easier. No, actually, there is equality in the world. In this day and age, there is equality no matter what gender, what color you are, which country you come from. You can do anything, you can accomplish anything. And I'm an example, you know, I'm in US, I was able to create a business, buy investments, and live a reasonably good life, you know, a happy life, exercise, and the fact that my both parents passed away when I was young, or the fact that, you know, I didn't have much support, did not made me become homeless and things like that. So it's very important that we give people help and opportunities along the way, but just writing off and making an excuse that, oh, you know, this person is like that because they were traumatized. No, actually, sometimes people that have soft lives, that expect life to be soft, ended up in substance abuse issue, or, you know, can't fend for themselves. So I'm not like trying to be uncompassionate. I'm just trying to prevent people to get into that victimhood trap, because you gotta take responsibility in your own hands. And yes, you can have faith in higher power, but at the end of the day, you know, you gotta push through. And if you do it, then the God helps you too. You had to act with integrity. Always choose the righteous path, which is not based on lies, deception, immorality, hurting other people. And if you just do those things, your life will be better, you know. Somebody will help you. There is help out there. So never give up. Act with integrity. Act with good attitude. Contributing to society. Working is actually like praising the higher power. Working is noble, you know, and sometimes people these days look down upon work, but work is actually what makes us stronger and better as well. So if you're not afraid to work, no matter what situation you are, you can get out of it. Now, mental illness is the other thing, you know, that we can't really control. So, but then you need to see a professional. You need to seek the right help. So you could be put into the right situation, maybe certain, you know, things, programs. There's places for medication, things like that. But living a healthy lifestyle always helps, and believing in yourself that you can do it no matter where you come from is number one thing to accomplish anything great and make your life better. So just wanted to share this because I saw this movie and I'm so impressed by the tenacity of some of these Holocaust survivors. And it's just, you know, they're not asking anybody to give them anything, free stuff, or there's no entitlement, and they've been through so much. These people went on to lead good lives, contribute to society. You know, so let's learn from that. We need less entitlement out there. Appreciate what we have, be grateful to be alive, be grateful for opportunities in US, and life will be better. So today's Thanksgiving and gratitude, being grateful, is another very important part for moving forward and being successful. Hope this inspires somebody. Let me know your experience in the comments down below. Please subscribe and I'll see you next video. Have a brilliant day.